Yo, what up, what
Uh,
up, what up? Welcome back to motherfucking Snugs, man. I'm here as always with my bottom bitch, my partner, my muse, the only YouTuber with a bedazzled motherfucking spinal column. Yo, what up, Snugs? How you doing?
what's going on?
You know.
Anyways, I was laughing about the stuff that's going on, like the World War III setup going on. Um, do you hear about it wasn't Putin that started it. It was Zelensky that started it. He was what it was phrased on. If he seen China join Russia, that's when he said he was going to bring nuclear weapons over there. And we're like,
Well,
okay,
Ukraine doesn't have nuclear weapons.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the funny part about it. He's
Right.
basically saying that we're gonna be doing it for him.
Well, Biden said if China joins in helping Russia, right, that's a red
Yeah,
line that can't be uncrossed.
yeah, and and NATO. What started it was NATO was involved in it. They got their heads in the sand and were like, well, we wanna start shit with Russia, so they blew the pipeline, and they were like, oh well, we didn't do that. That was Russia's doing.
Well, did you
And
did you read the article I put up or listen to the article I put up on
no,
my
I didn't
channel?
read. No, I didn't read that. I was reading the other articles that were going on, and
Well, Seymour Hesh, who's the reporter who broke the Milan massacre in Vietnam,
yeah,
right? And the dude who broke the Abu Ghraib story, right? He's an investigative journalist who's won the Pulitzer Prize multiple times. He's probably the greatest living journalist that we have, right?
hmm
He broke down exactly how the United States sat here and like did the sat here and fucking actually blew up that pipeline and shit, right?
yeah,
And basically, what happened was is that the U.S. used the cover of a NATO exercise in the Baltic Sea to fucking plant explosives that were going to be remote detonated at a later date. This happened in July, and then they blew it up in September.
yep,
Right, so basically they had a battery pack, you know, what I mean, that was sealed on top of these fucking pipes. That had a sonar buoy. It was done by a bunch of guys in Panama City, out of the Navy diving school, and because of the fact that Biden and what the hell's her name? Rachel
I
Newland.
forgot. Yeah,
Newland. I think Rachel Newland. I think that's her fucking name. I never remember her first name properly. Victoria Newland,
yeah,
right? Victoria Newland went out on record and said that if fucking that they were going to end up blowing up this pipeline, so therefore it was no longer a black op. So they didn't have to inform or the Congress about it, right? It
yeah,
could be done like using the Military War Act and shit, right?
yeah.
And they sat and did that, you know what I mean? And like, yo, they blew up that fucking pipeline because the United States has always been terrified of Russia and Germany kind of getting together with German know-how and Russian motherfucking resources and shit, right?
Well,
And that's
the
half of this whole war.
yeah, but the thing is, Germany is already over there. They're already doing a new currency that's gonna over overlap the U.S. currency, and what it's
What
gonna
the
be.
what the euro?
Yeah, they're getting rid of the euro. They're getting rid of the U.S. currency, and they're going with gold caps. They're doing the Fallout thing, the Fallout style with the bottle cap shit,
Right.
because they say the bottle caps are more important than what's going on now.
Well,
Because
I
the
haven't heard
currency,
about Germany doing a new currency, right? Because Germany's in charge of the fucking EU,
yeah,
right? And you know, I mean, basically they're running the entire euro thing. And forever now, like we've had a problem of like, you know, like the EU and the euro constantly trying to dethrone the dollar as a de facto currency and shit.
yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
well, now they have a chance because they're trying to get Russia on board, China on board, and I forgot who. Oh yeah, and the Muslims on board for this. Because
Well,
what it's going to be is the new currency was going to be bottle caps with gold on it on the bottom.
that sounds kind of ridiculous, if I'm honest with you. And if we're keeping it 100% real,
Yeah.
right? We tried a gold standard before and it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
So, I mean, like, I don't know, like, how much of that's actually true. You know what I mean? Like what you're saying. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any fucking
I
sense.
know it doesn't make any sense either because I think it's stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like some zero hedge nonsense, right? Zero hedge is always putting out dumbass articles like this all the time. That there's
Well,
stupid clickbait garbage.
it was actually Fox that posted this one out for once.
That well, that makes even more sense if it was Fox. Because like, have you ever watched the Boondocks?
Yes,
Okay, have you ever seen the episode where
the fat.
Tom had to stand here and chin check his wife because she was trying to go fuck Usher?
Yeah,
All right, and do you remember that fucking like Usher sat here or fucking you went to a pimp named Slickback,
yeah.
right? And the broad was sitting here like going, oh, or like the girl was like, well, daddy, I mean, I don't know if I can do this on this computer system and shit, right? And he's like, bitch, every time that new Apple shit come out, you start talking that I need a new computer shit, right?
Yeah,
And that's 90% of the military, like industrial complex media shit, is them going, we need a new boat. You know what I mean? They're just trying to scare us, give them more funding.
well, the thing was, it was accurate because Germany actually came out and said that, yeah, they are trying.
410-032.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, man.
anyways, Germany was
Working.
actually said that they actually are doing a new currency, but they're not explaining it yet what they're doing with it.
Well, all right. So the Europeans, right, they're having a hard time being able to collect all the taxes that they want to be able to collect and keep their social programs going,
Yeah,
right? Because they know damn well that if they sit here and try to, like, if they try to stand here and, I mean, like uphold their system long term, right? They're not going to be able to do it because they
yeah,
don't have like a fucking birth rate, right, to be able to get it done,
yeah,
right? So basically, they have to like collect every ounce of taxes they can. So what they're looking at is doing like fucking international cryptocurrency in Europe, right, where they can track
yeah,
every fucking spending dollar as possible. I have a buddy of mine who lives in Sweden, and he was telling me that in Sweden, the banks or Sweden owns the banks to the point where when he received $300 from his cousin, right, as like a transfer to give to his mom, you know what I mean, whatever, because like it's
yeah,
like family thing, and they're from Kyrgyzstan, they're from Iraq, right? Basically, when he received this money, the bank had to stand here and verify what this cash came from and what it was to be used for, right?
yeah,
To verify that it didn't have to be taxes and it didn't come from ill-gotten gains,
yeah.
right? And literally, like, I'm standing here and I'm talking to him and I'm like, bro, are you fucking serious right now? Like, it was $300. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it was $300. I'm like, wow, like that's fucking super heavy, fucking centrally controlled on the fucking monetary supply. And Europe wants to do this like nationwide, but they don't have like an international banking system that would allow them to be able to do this type of thing. And but if they get a cryptocurrency, they would. They'd be able to whip everybody in the line and verify where
well,
everything's going. You know what I mean?
here's the U.S. is thinking about doing cryptocurrency, but it's not going to happen until 2024.
Well, the U.S. cryptocurrency is going to be different, right? Um, you know that? Have you looked recently at like the M1, M2 fucking money supply at all, by chance?
Yes, and it's
Right.
been pretty bad.
Well, it's not about that. You know that like where the majority of our money is created.
Yeah,
Where?
it's pretty much it's all printed out, and
No,
it's coming from China basically.
no. There's literally no money, right, that is actually printed out anymore, right? Only like 2% of all dollars, right, are physical fucking currency, right?
Yeah,
Almost all of it is goddamn fucking electronic, right? And all of it gets created when you get your fucking paycheck every week. So, like, literally, banks and credit unions and credit card companies and like whatever, right? PayPal, name a fucking place, right? They're
yeah,
all creating all the currency in the country, right? So
yeah,
everything's electronic. And they're trying to find ways to be able to move this fucking currency easier between banks, right? And a cryptocurrency would make sense, right? Like a federal fucking cryptocurrency, as it
yeah,
were, right? So this is what they're trying to do. That's what the fucking U.S. federal cryptocurrency is going to be used for. It's not so much so that like they can stand here and you know what I mean, like fucking have U.S. citizens using cryptocurrency. It's for
to
the
have,
banks.
yeah. And they were saying that was it the reason why the IRS is going after people now for doing tips and shit is so they can build back on the money they lost for delivering it to the Ukraine.
No, 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 no. The reason why they're trying to go after people for tips is because they're broke.
And the sad part is the churches that are tax exempt make over a billion, while the people that waitress and bartend do less.
Well, you see the video I did on this shit?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
All right. So, like, all right, number one, stop counting other people's pockets, right? Like, fucking, that's not an important thing, right? Like, literally, the money that the fucking churches make mostly go to goddamn charities any fucking way, right? Like the majority of like fucking all of like the donations that go to churches end up getting put into like fucking food pantries and fucking medical care and all these type of things for fucking poor people, right? It's literally some of
Yeah,
like the best ways to be able to distribute shit is on the fucking local level. So I ain't worried about churches in any way, shape, or form, right? But the reason why they're trying to go after the fucking tips is because of the fact that they have this principle of MMT, right? Have you ever
yeah,
heard of MMT before?
yeah. I heard of it.
Okay, so MMT is not what a lot of people think it is, right? It's not like a you can print as much money as you want to, you
No,
know what I
no,
mean?
it's
Like you,
not that. It's
right,
something else.
right, all right. So basically, MMT is a look at the system as if you can add and subtract money or currency, as it were, and have the entire thing end up like evening out, right?
Yeah,
So basically, what they want to do is they want to be able to print money out when they need it, right?
yeah,
And then and then pull the money back out when it shows inflation,
yeah,
right? But in order for them to be able to do this, what they have to do is they have to be able to sit here and like get everybody into the tax system,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And so they're looking at it as like bureaucrats, right? It's literally all this is. They're like, oh, we want to be able to like fucking collect all this fucking money from everybody
yeah,
so they can make their math equation add up inside of their fucking head. It's like they have they have to be able to measure the fucking currency in the same way that we all measure oil on a dipstick in our car. And that's what they're trying to do. And they go, well, like if we can't sit here and see all of like where the oil's going, right? We don't know where we're leaking the fucking oil at. And that's how they're looking at currency because money to them like dollars and shit, it's not like a resource. It's not something that like they're using to like get rich. They're
yeah,
looking at money like it's a lubrication for the system because that's basically what it is. Because once you have less dollars in the system, right, the cost to borrow dollars goes up. So interest rates rise naturally,
yeah,
right? It's just a natural process of things. So basically, like in the overnight window about 3 years ago, you had this problem of where they, ran out of dollars,
yeah.
right? And when they did this, the cost to borrow on the overnight markets, which is usually like 1.5 to 2%, somewhere right around there, right?
It went up to
It went
fifteen
up to
percent.
fucking like, yeah, it went up to like fucking 15, 20%. They had to be able to fucking like print enough currency off that they could, go, hey, look, there's plenty of currency. Stop raising the fucking rates to borrow. That's how like this is a math equation to them.
Yeah,
It's not vindictive. And that's why they're trying to smack shit in.
And plus, the bartenders are not making enough money now because of all the for the new law now of the tip law. They're making
Oh,
half of what they're making now
well, they've
in
already been
tips.
making half of what they've been making because everything went to electronic, right?
Yeah,
So like when people tip electronically, it's not like they're just leaving cash, leaving the change, you know what I mean? Whatever it is,
no,
you know what I mean? And they don't have to report all that shit. You know what I mean? When you get your fucking tips reported, like it ends up you get taxed on that shit because it goes on an electronic ledger.
but this is cash too. This is not just electric. Like people tipping cash also, and that's what's killing the business, the restaurant and bar business.
Oh, now what's killing them is the cost of labor at the moment, right? Fucking
Yeah.
like yo, I've saw like 4 restaurants around here close in the past like year,
Well, there
and
was it
they
last
it's just
year?
because they
There
can't
was
find people. You know what I mean?
well last year there was 20 people around my area that closed down because they couldn't afford it. The meat went up to like 10% because and they were like, well, because it's not coming from the it's not coming from a company, it's coming from a farm. So the farm like raised up their thing to keep themselves afloat. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and again, like fucking like literally like the two highest costs in the restaurants are like your fucking ingredients and your labor, right? And like
Yeah,
when when you get to the point where you can't fucking get somebody to come to work for less than $20 an hour, and you can't raise your prices to justify $20 an hour because people stop buying food. Because like I've had these conversations with people where they go, like I'm like, man, listen, like you're gonna have to pay 20 or $25 for a pizza, and they go, I'm not gonna pay that. I'll go to Domino's and get one for $5, right? And I'm like, but what about your local business? Well, if they want to be fucking 10 times better than Domino's, then yeah, I'll buy it. But
well,
it's not 10 times better. Like, yo, you're fucking
it's
retarded.
it's funny how the local business does a better job than a third party company.
Well, well, yeah, of course. You know, what I mean, because like they have fresh ingredients and they're making it right there. They fucking actually give a shit about what they're doing. It's not some factory thing that I mean is like garner to the tastes of as many people as possible, right? It's
And
like
it's
when me and you, when like we make goulash at home, right?
yeah,
It's way better than anything Hamburger Helper could ever put together.
yeah, hell yeah, because
You know
fresh
what I
meat and
mean?
everything else.
Yeah, fresh onions. We're chopping that shit up. We're fucking putting the garlic in. I got a basil plant at the fucking in the kitchen. I'm pulling leaves off of, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like so,
yeah,
but it doesn't matter because like if we had to charge what it costs, like if we had to pay what it costs for like that quality of food all the time,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like motherfuckers wouldn't be able to afford shit. And the only reason they can produce this is because they're doing a whole lot of it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're amortizing the fucking cost over like a large, you know what I mean? Fucking
And the funny
group.
part is like, was it they were talking about Russia doing robots now, and I'm laughing because I was playing it was Atomic Heart on Xbox, and I'm laughing about this shit because the it's coming true that they are making robots now for because they're saying they're going to use it for war if World War III does come out. I'm like, oh great, we're having we're fighting robots for next year when the war does come out.
Well, like, all right. So here's the problem with robots, right?
Yeah,
Robots like they're good like for drones and shit, right? They're like
yeah,
really good for like conquering shit. You know what I mean? Taking stuff over, but they're really terrible at holding ground.
yeah. And plus, if they upgrade the AI, what's up, Neil? If they upgrade the AI, they're basically gonna fuck over people because it's gonna fuck over themselves too if they start feeling and shit. That's the thing. If they don't come in sentient, they're gonna be fucked over themselves.
Yeah, and here's another one: robots don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
That's an issue, right?
So true.
So like you have two sides of an equation, right? So like you
Yeah.
have consumption and you have production, right? Well, robots can produce, but they don't consume, right?
Yeah.
And robots produce, but they don't pay any taxes on the shit that they sell,
Yeah.
on the shit that they buy,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't consume anything.
Yeah.
So, what good are robots as a whole?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Sort
Nothing
of like
really.
if all you really want is to produce goods and you don't want to live in this like capital structure, you just want to make shit that's like cheap for everybody, then we should have a whole bunch of government robots. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To just work factories and produce stuff for us,
Well,
which
it's
I
basically
kind of would be down for.
they're basically acting like robots now because they're like, oh hey, let's go serve the Ukraine more than anything else.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, it's the whole Ukraine thing. Like, that's fuck. That is just a giant clusterfuck. You know what
and
I mean? Like,
and and they said it with a straight face. Even the what's her face there? Shit, Kamala Harris said it with a straight face. They'd rather serve the Ukraine than us.
yeah. I mean, like, did you hear the German chancellor?
Yeah,
And when the
yeah,
Germans, I think it's the vice chancellor actually.
yeah. The vice
They said,
chancellor.
the German vice chancellor said, like, what was it? He's like, we don't care what our people think. We will stand with the fucking with Ukraine till the end. What? That's not how democracy works.
Uh, uh, it makes me laugh the most is that all the idiots that listen to this shit, they're like, "Oh, hey, we believe in that." It's like, no, no, that's calling yourself a communist more than democracy.
I mean,
Hey,
like,
Will.
all right. Here's my thing. If they were willing to sit here and go, hey, look, you know, we're going to take over this land and extract its resources, right? And we're going like all the oil now that we're selling to like fucking whatever, right?
Yeah,
That profit goes into like American taxpayers. Like we get a check, right? I would 100% be down for this war. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I would have absolutely no problem with
Well,
what they're doing.
the thing is, did you hear what they did to the U.S. Soldiers? They
No, what they
cut their
do?
pay. They cut their pay to like 50%. So now they're paying
Why?
getting paid less than an average worker
Wait,
because
what?
they're trying to get paid by the less than an average worker because they say that they're not doing enough. That's what they're saying.
Okay. Um, the fuck are they talking about? Like,
Well, because the reason why, because over that, remember the balloon shit that was going on,
yeah,
the spy balloons. Well, they said, "Oh, we didn't know that the radar wasn't working, so now we had the radar up, and we're shooting them down now." They said that the radar was outdated.
again, that's more of this. We need a new boat shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, yo, like my favorite one recently, they were like, we war gamed the fucking scenario where China took on Taiwan and we lost, right? Like, yo, so, you know, we need a new boat, right? That's what they're saying. Like, we need a new boat, right?
Yeah,
And I'm standing here and I'm just going like, bruh, number one, the war game that you ran was from like 19 fucking 71, right? Because like all we would have to do, and this, the problem is like this would fuck up everything for everybody,
yeah,
right? But all we would have to do is park a fucking carrier group in the Straits of Malacca and
yeah.
just fucking block any and all traffic that are gonna motherfucking go to China, right? And like
True.
all of China would starve to death in 6 months,
Well,
right?
it's not just that. Is they can the U.S. can starve them too because they're getting their vegetables from the U.S. And if they really want to do it, they can just starve them
It's
to death with the vegetables.
yo again, like literally all you have to do is cut them off from their fertilizer supply, their oil supply, and you know what I mean, like fucking trying to think, and their fucking wheat supply, and it's
Yeah,
over. 500 million dead Chinese people, 6 months,
and
and they will stop fighting. Promise.
yeah, and the funny part, there was a Rockstar Games doing GTA. They were doing a simulation for was it a couple weeks ago to see what it would happen if we had a World War III. and it was hilarious. It made me laugh because the people that played the game thought that this one might happen, that we have to fight on our front lawns if the simulation was real, because they think that China's gonna sneak over the U.S. to fight us.
They don't have any boats.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like, all right, listen. Okay, I don't know if you know this, all right, but in order to get massive amounts of troops from one place to another, you
Yeah,
have to be able to have them move, right?
yeah. And plus, you
And
need
therefore, what
a
you need
really
is,
good plane and a boat.
yeah, you need a boat or a plane. You need some form of transport to get them here. Like only 1% of their boats can go more than 1,000 miles from port,
Yeah.
and even then, the ones that can only go like 7 knots, and they have to go in a straight fucking line.
Well, what makes it even more funny though is like their games are so broken. They think everything's gonna like China's gonna invade us and everything else, and I'm laughing. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen. There's so many ways that would happen.
Like they have, all right, have you ever heard about China's aircraft carriers?
Yes, they're a piece of shit.
All right. Let me tell you how much of a piece of shit, and for your audience as well, which is helpful, right? You know, what I mean, so they know. Um, well, their one is a old 1960s Russian fucking aircraft carrier, right?
And they're
Which
slower than dog shit.
wait. It used to be a casino, right?
Yeah,
And then they took the slot machines out and filled it up with people. You know what I mean? And it had a problem. Why they turned it into a casino was because it kept catching fire when they were using it as an aircraft carrier,
yeah,
right? Then, you know what I mean, they fucking made a clone of that one, right?
yeah,
And, you know what I mean, it keeps catching fire,
yeah,
right? And then they build a whole new one, right, that keeps catching fire.
yeah,
It is an unbelievably complicated task to do what we do,
yeah.
right? We have 11 super carriers, right? The rest of the world combined has 10 jump carriers.
Yep.
It takes 7 jump carriers to take on one super carrier.
Well, listen to this. We got rednecks and freaking armies that would fight for the death if they really came down here.
Out, out of every 10 guns made in the world, 8 of them go into American citizens' hands.
Yeah.
I don't think that we really have a lot to worry about when it comes down to being invaded, right?
Well, the
It's
funny
kind of
part.
it's kind of one of those fuck around and find out moments. You know what I'm saying?
The funny part, like Canada, well, Trudeau, not all Canada, but Trudeau was gonna help the Chinese if they do go to war. I was like, oh, I can't wait for Canada to come in because we could take Canada down with just one swoop.
I honestly believe, I really do believe this. You could take over a Canadian city with a 9 millimeter, right? And you know, what I mean, a couple of fucking super soakers painted black. Keep it at 100, right? I 100% believe that about Canada and Australia, right?
Yeah.
Like those fucking countries, I don't know why it is that like we allow them to exist.
It's hilarious, like, because Mexico's like with us, and Canada's pissed because Mexico wants to be with us more than Canada because they hate Canada so much.
Like I'll be like, if Canada ever tried to declare war on the United States,
They would be done in a heartbeat.
maybe uh, maybe a week, right? They might last a week,
No,
and that's only
I say
because,
two
like,
weeks because they have China helping them a little bit because they got the
I,
CCP
a week.
army.
They don't have any people. There's like
No.
15 Canadians.
Well, did you hear about the suicide rates over near Canada now? It's like higher than ever because it's that home suicide.
No, 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 no. They don't have home suicide.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're cutting out. Yeah, you're cutting out. Yeah,
I got that should be good,
yeah.
right?
No, you're
So
good.
like again, yeah, yeah. Like if you end up, you know, what I mean, with an ingrown toenail,
Yeah, they
that's the
euthanasia
death
and that
sentence
shit.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's time to go. You know what I mean? Right? That's why the suicide rates are so high because they're saying like, oh, he just killed himself. I believe you did that. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean?
No, the government system to get them the suicide. It's like, here, have this. Kill yourself.
Could you imagine walking in like my tooth hurts and they're like, have you ever considered killing yourself? Right? Like what? Like my tooth hurts. I want you to fix my tooth. Well, death would fix that, you know.
Well, they're like, was it U.S. a long time ago? I think this was like in the '90s. This was when Bill Clinton was in office. They were thinking about doing that euthanasia for like the homeless if they didn't really want to live like wanted to go back to being in the middle class. And they were like, "Well, that's a little bit too far, don't you think?" And he's like, "Why? They're basically taking up the area, the areas of the."
I,
Oh, it's all right. I was laughing about yeah, because Bill Clinton tried to bring that idea up because of the homeless population, and they said it was so high that year in the '90s that they said they were trying to get euthanasia to be accepted.
Canada is such a terrible place.
No shit. I feel sorry for the people I know that live there, even family members that live there. Yeah, I don't, I don't feel sorry for the idiots that support Trudeau. That's the thing. I'd be like, go do your thing, kill yourself up. I don't care. You supported Trudeau.
Canadians, right?
Yeah,
Like Trudeau gets elected because single moms like to play with themselves while they look at him.
yeah. Well, it's funny they try to hide the fact that he did blackface. They're like, oh, he wasn't such a bad guy. He did blackface and a lot of other racist shit behind closed doors, and have videos of it of him being racist.
Yeah, I mean, like I always ask Canadians, you know what I'm saying, when they're like when I don't like them, I go like, hey, look, when was the last time your wife played with herself thinking about Trudeau? Right? You know what I mean? Like when your wife leans her head back, closes her eyes when you're nailing it, like she ain't thinking about you, son. You know what I mean? She's thinking about that Trudeau dick. You know what I mean? She's thinking about fucking Fidel Castro's son. Right?
Shit. And it's funny
Yeah.
like all the Canadians are realizing now how bad he is for a president. It took them how long then to figure out he was a bad president?
There's still he got elected during the trucker thing
Yeah.
or after
Well,
it. Right? Like,
no, before it because they're the he because um what's his face was in the head of the lead, and what you call it, the election meddling in Canada from the U.S. was the one reason why he got elected.
oh man, did you hear like so Canada's mad, like their government's mad that like all right. Okay, you know how like they had like the Russian election interference in America or whatever, they were trying to make that case, right?
Yeah,
All of their right wing movements are funded by American citizens.
that's true. That's true.
like, like, so the shit that they were talking about, like, yo, Russia's trying to sow distension in America. Pretty sure we're doing that in Canada right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we're the ones bumping up fucking Gavin McInnes and fucking Rebel News and shit. You know what I mean? Like, all of the money that went to the GoFundMe and then like the Buy Me a Coffee or whatever the fuck it was for the
Yeah.
trucking thing, right? All of that came from America, right?
Yeah.
Not a dime came from Canada. Like the Canadians didn't give a shit. They just wanted the truckers to stop honking.
It took them, what was it, a year to get them to stop honking? They were still going at it through the whole year.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Canada doesn't want freedom.
No, they don't. They seriously don't. Well, Did you
Right.
hear about Canada and in the UK? The UK was doing the camera surveillance thing now at the houses and on the streets and shit now. Face recognition because they were saying that.
Yeah, first off, the UK is like when you're in the UK, you are filmed more than almost any other place on the fucking planet other than maybe like Tokyo.
Yeah, no
Right?
shit.
That's been that way for the longest.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's gotten way worse now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And Canada, you know, I mean, same shit. Any American city you go to assumes you're being filmed, right? Like the reason why those five black dudes, you know, what I mean, like got fucking caught beating the shit out of that fucking the hell was his name? Tyree fucking Phillips,
Yeah,
I think Nichols, Tyree Nichols kid,
Nichols.
right? The reason they got fucking popped is because like there's cameras everywhere now. Like fuck a phone, right? They got filmed by some guy's Ring doorbell joint.
Yeah, and they also got video footage in at a business across the street from the house. Like they were filming it the whole time. They're like, "Look at this idiot," thinking that they're not gonna
But
get
yeah, that's what I'm
caught.
saying. It was a Ring doorbell joint. Like fucking, it was like a fucking security camera. And here's the real bitch. Somebody was watching that motherfucker because like they focus in on that.
Yeah, and then they realize like why America gets picked on so much because they don't realize that like they're getting filmed 24/7.
Yeah.
Like what? Oh, we stole shoes from what was it? Family Dollar, General Dollar. We we don't know why we're filmed. And it
Like
happened.
America is breaking down right now, right?
Oh,
Like all of our shit is just completely collapsing.
the shit
And
just hit the fan.
nobody really under like that whole like Norfolk Southern thing, everybody
Yeah,
really upset. The problem is that nobody wants to pay the cost of what it actually costs to produce things
yeah.
safely,
The shit, the
right?
shit hit the fan when everybody said when the president, the vice president, and Nadler says we're for Ukraine, and that's it. That's when shit hit the fan. Like months before that, when they said that shit.
Things have been hitting the fan for a long time, all right? Marjorie Taylor Greene just came out today again and said that, like, you know, I mean, she wants to have a national divorce, right?
Yeah,
We have congressmen openly talking about seceding from the fucking union.
yeah.
Things are not going well for us right now, my friend.
No shit. Well, look at was it Japan fighting with the U.S. because we're like buying all their resources and shit.
Yeah,
Don't like why they making more money than us now? It's like, well, you guys censorship everything, and you wonder why everybody's going to the U.S. now for everything.
yeah. Like I'm gonna do the math here soon, and I'm gonna figure out how many cars Norfolk Southern moves every year, right?
Yeah,
And I'm gonna figure out like how much profit they actually make per car.
yeah,
My estimate every year is that Norfolk Southern probably ships back and forth, count each car, right?
yeah,
Probably about 10 to 20 million cars a year, minimum, right?
Yeah.
And in doing so, right, if that's the truth, and they made $1 billion in profit, they're making like $100 per motherfucking car.
Yeah, it's like the thing is like they're actually screwing themselves over. And another thing is now they want electric cars now for everything now in the US, and that's not
Well,
gonna
no, no, no,
work.
that's not what I'm saying, right? So like,
No,
think
no,
about it
but
like
I'm
this,
saying
right? So like,
no, but I'm
yo, if
saying
you,
because they're
if
taxing people. That's the reason why I'm saying this for the
well, no, it's
gas.
that's not that. It's not that. It's that like, yo, our system is based off of maximum efficiency, right?
Yeah,
To like make businesses as big as possible, so they can charge the least amount possible, right? And still make a fucking profit, right?
yeah,
Like Walmart's a grocery store. They're one of the largest companies in the fucking world. It's a grocery store. The
yeah. It's
average
the
grocery
sixth.
store makes
It's the
five
sixth
cents per
largest.
item,
Yeah,
right?
and I can't believe it's the sixth largest grocery store of all time.
Sixth largest what?
Grocery store of all time.
In part time? What?
No, no, they said for all time. They said that's the most. It's the number six of the biggest grocery store in the world.
Yeah, right. So like the thing is like Walmart is literally like one of the biggest businesses in America, right? they
You want
make
to hear?
un
You want
they make
you want to hear about
ungod.
number two? You want to hear about number two?
What's number
Target.
two?
Target.
Walmart's bigger than Target.
Well, they say Target's two.
Not Walmart, way bigger than Target. Like way bigger than Target. Like I 100% know that one for sure,
Yeah.
right? But like real shit. Again, like we get back to like these companies should not be profitable.
True.
You know what I mean?
They do it anyways. There's loopholes in how they do it. So
Well, no, it's not that. It's that like yo, they buy in bulk and they sell a massive amount of shit, right?
yeah.
Like Walmart's profit margin is like 1%.
Oh shit.
It's just they're so fucking large that 1% is like
Well,
fucking six
they
billion
just
dollars.
don't own Walmart. They also own Sam's Club and Lowe's.
And what? And Lowe's?
Yeah.
I don't think they own Lowe's. I
Yeah,
think
they
Lowe's is
do.
its own
They own
company.
Lowe's. They do. 'Cause I had to call up Walmart one time to fix my package delivery. They told me to call Lowe's for like the gardening shit.
Well, like not like I'm pretty sure Lowe's is its own company, right? Because like I know Lowe's trades on its own fucking stock ticker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they might be like they might have their like warehouses together in some places or some shit. You know what I mean? Maybe I've never seen that, right? Or they might like Walmart might buy shit from Lowe's to sell or whatever. You know what I mean? Like whatever
Yeah.
product it is. Anyway, right? But like yeah, so like Walmart makes like $6 billion a year. I think actually this year they lost money to be perfectly honest with
Yeah,
you,
they lost money
right?
because nobody has been buying stuff. Because the hype.
No, no, no. They lost money because everybody keeps stealing shit.
And they say that the from for because of all the freaking thieves in was California and New York that they were saying that they might close down stores if it keeps going on this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. Fucking like their fucking CEO came out and said like, yo, we will close the fucking stores. We don't give a shit. And I mean, we're not gonna tolerate that. Like literally, the one I'm gonna tell you what, the one in my neighborhood, fucking I went to and I was talking to the cashier and she said like the reason they're not open overnight anymore, right? Why they didn't reopen overnight is because they were having problems with homeless people staying in the fucking store all night long.
Well, they were sleeping in the couches over there. They had video proof of them like sitting in the couch sleeping in it, and they were trying to kick them out, but they couldn't because Because if they did, it would go against the law over there. The new laws in California and New York.
Well, like, yeah, well, we were having a problem here with homeless people staying in the fucking Walmarts, right? Like, they would literally just, like, fucking stay there all goddamn night, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To stay out of the fucking cold and shit. Which, I'll be honest with you, like, I personally don't really care, but, you know, it's kind of fucked up.
Well, I say,
That's the thing.
like I say, if they really want to stay there, they should just get a job. If they really want to contribute, that's what I say.
I feel you.
But I don't think they should be like staying there for like because they they feel like they're special. That's what I'm saying. Like if they're trying to like stay there to stay warm, they should work. I hate to say it, but people shouldn't go in there for like rent for like act like they're free. They don't have to worry about nothing. That's just bullshit.
Yeah. It's fucking, man, listen. Yeah, I mean, like, it's, I don't know, man. Like, the whole shit's fucking crazy. Just as a thing.
Well, the government collapsed anyways. Did you hear about the was it the Epstein book came out? Flight book came out, and
I heard that Bill Gates' wife came out and talked about Epstein.
yes she did, and put she threw freaking Bill Gates under the bus,
I'd believe it.
and it was funny because everybody's mouth dropped when it happened.
Everybody was what?
Everybody's mouth dropped when they found out.
I mean, like, you didn't know that, like, you know, they were best friends and Epstein liked to fuck little kids? Like, that dude probably fucked little kids too? Like,
Yeah, and get this, like there was from the list, it was mostly politicians than celebrities. There was
yeah,
they were going through the logs and shit. They're like, holy shit, how the hell are they still in office?
well, because, man, like, you know, it's the same reason why, you know, I heard Mike Pompeo recently. He did a 60-minute special, right?
Yeah,
Where, like, he was talking about fucking the JFK shit, right?
yeah,
Where he was talking about, oh, you know, fucking, we can't stand here and release the JFK stuff because there's still people alive with families, right? In
yeah,
those notes, right? And we have to protect our CIA assets and all this shit.
yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, because it was a set up plan with the JFK shooting. They already admit that it was a set up plan.
I mean,
It was because of Marilyn Monroe and his brother like talking about all the shit, like all the hidden shit that they should never talked about.
like, so here's my thing, right? So
Yeah,
if it's the case that, you know, what I mean, like, yo, you get in the government in a certain level, and like you get caught up in some shit, and the government's gonna protect you. What the fuck is the point in this goddamn government?
well, because it's basically the government's like the mob. They'll go after anybody that they don't like after a while, and they'll whack them. That's the
Right?
reason.
I mean, that's fucking crazy. How about this one here? Did you hear about the new Jerry Sandusky shit?
Yeah, I was kind of like weirded out. Like, what? They finally admitting it? Shit,
What?
all the shit that's been going on.
Well, no. Did you hear that, like, fucking apparently, like, a bunch of the shit that people came out and said they were making it up?
Yeah, and the thing
Like,
and the thing is like the news, like the like all the other news companies are not going out or going to that area. They're talking about it because they're afraid of talking about it. Same thing as the Epstein logs and all the other shit. Shit, Alex Baldwin was threatening. to sue everybody that was talking about how he was on that list.
Like, I don't, I don't know, man. Like, this whole like pedophilia thing, as in general thing, like, no, it's.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're getting to the point where we're witch hunting, maybe a little bit.
Well, the logs was real because they actually had the because they went through it and shit, and they had the black book also.
Right? But I'm saying, like, I feel like this shit's gonna come back and bite us in the ass, and it is right now,
It is already
right?
is. We always thought that Hollywood is not that bad, like most of the celebrities
But
were.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like right now, 80% of all custody cases have like fucking accusations of sexual abuse,
Yeah. Well, it's because blame
right?
the Me Too movement on that one.
Well, I don't know if it's that, right? I think like like we have gotten to the level where like we're just accusing everybody of like motherfucking being pedophiles and shit.
Well, that's typical now around here. Now it's everybody because they think that if somebody is like talking to somebody, they think, "Oh, this person's bad and shit." No, it's not. It's just they just want to have a conversation. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I got fucking so like I'm in a Discord called like political debates,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, like it's a cool place to hang out. Got some really smart fucking guys and shit. You know what I
Well,
mean? And then like
did you hear about
what up?
the thing about AP getting accused of that shit by some crackhead on the on YouTube?
No,
What the hell's her name? Shit, fucking. Well, she accused Hatman.
Drastia.
Accused Hatman and AP being pedos, and I was like, "Whoa, that's not true." Actually, no, that's not true.
Yeah, like what I mean, like all like man, listen, as I said, like this shit's gonna come back to bite us in the fucking ass. You know what I mean? Like because like it's just an accusation. The moment you throw it out there, you can't bring it back.
Well, it's like the new Witch Hunt 2.0, and everybody doesn't care.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like I kind of don't like it. As a dude with kids, it scares the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like because anybody can say any bullshit. It's just immediate. You know what I mean? Like average questions swirling around motherfucking shit. It's not positive. Just it's just not.
yeah.
You know, like that shit's scary as fuck. What I mean, as a father, shit is fucking terrifying.
Well,
Like like there was Neil deGrasse Tyson fucking did a part on Joe Rogan joint, right? I was watching
yeah.
the short today, and he got called in for jury duty, and a judge asked him. He said, "Hey, look, could you convict alone on eyewitness testimony?" Right? And Neil deGrasse Tyson said no. Right? Like fucking like most people's like memories are terrible. Right?
Yeah.
And then fucking or could you convict somebody with fucking eyewitness territory, right? Or it was just I mean like off eyewitness testimony. And fucking like the judge says like fucking is there anybody else here who would have a problem, I mean, being able to convict off of fucking eyewitness testimony alone,
No,
right? And
because
the
there's
alone
no
word wasn't
evidence.
wasn't used, right, the
Yeah.
first time, right? And Neil deGrasse Tyson never used the word alone, right? And then like he chimed into the judge, he's like, Your Honor, you literally fucking just spouted back some stuff wrong at me, right? That I didn't say.
Yeah.
And you want me to rely on eyewitness testimony.
well, well,
Like,
the thing is, like, eyewitness testimony, you gotta have evidence to prove that they were there at the scene of the crime.
no, no, you don't. Not anymore.
Not anymore. I remember
Nope.
back in the day, like in the 90s and early 2000s, you had to have evidence before you accuse someone.
No, you don't, right? Like, yo, because of the fact that like you like because like you watch Law and Order SVU,
Oh, I
right? I think
don't.
that's
Oh
how
no,
shit works.
I went from law school to try to learn that shit. So Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? Like that. They don't need no goddamn now. Like now they can just rely on the testimony of like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I did
That's why
was
like
I went to this criminal law and crap, like, for, bow season crap, and that they said you had to have an eyewitness. If you're an eyewitness, you had to have evidence and everything before you were the
they just have to have
eyewitness.
evidence you were there, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And even then, like you don't have to have evidence you were there. You just have other people say like, yeah, he was there. You know what I mean? It's like it's all set up on nonsense. At the end of the
Yeah.
day,
But it's
like
but if we're going now with no evidence, then it's not worth it then, because you don't know if they're telling the truth. Usually they can
yeah,
be.
nobody has any idea about anything, right?
Yeah.
They've literally they've like this is why like none of these fucking cases are like being upheld, right? Because it's all just eyewitness garbage. There's no camera footage. There's no fucking you know what I mean anything. You know what I mean?
You gotta have two witnesses to actually be proof, and and they don't do that anymore. That's the reason why. It's why I start saying it's gonna be the next witch hunt 2.0, because it's just hearsay from one person.
Well, yeah, and that's you know what I mean that's what I'm saying. Like fucking I don't trust any of this shit. It all sounds like nonsense, right? Like the Epstein Island thing, like yeah, you know what I mean. But I literally like I think how do I put this? I think like it's all like basically the like fucking CIA doing mob tactics just to like have dirt on like politicians and other people
Yeah,
to get them to do what they want.
yeah. Well, they already do. Was they said when they brought up the Epstein case, like everybody shut up, like the government, like the politicians, they were like mouth closed, because if they knew that if the truth came out, they were totally fucked. Nadler ran out of out of his house, and was trying to go to a next country, because he knew he was going to be fucked if the truth came out.
I mean, like, have you ever watched? I think it's called like the Seven Rings or some shit like that.
Yeah,
The 11th Ring. I'm gonna
I
be
don't
real.
know.
I couldn't sleep for like a month after I watched that shit.
Well,
Right? There
yeah.
was this documentary. Who's that guy over in fucking England? The kids presenter, the kids TV host or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now. I just don't remember his name. He's just really
Yeah,
popular.
they had a whole documentary about him. And bruh, the things that he was accused of and the people around him being accused of, right?
Yeah.
Dark. I mean, like he ran a school in Germany for like kids who were what's that shit called, man?
Special
Like
needs.
they were handicapped.
Special needs class.
Yeah, and apparently, like he would get them out, bring them to his boat, rape them, and then hit them with a hammer and throw them overboard.
That really doesn't sound right.
Huh?
That doesn't really sound right, because if you the thing is, like, it wouldn't make sense actually,
Why?
because for a thing you have to have motive, and another thing, you have to, if you're throwing kids up, like, eventually you're gonna, like, you're gonna start seeing like people are gonna start seeing bodies in the water.
Nah, man, you got like fish and shark, and you dump a body in the ocean, bro. It never
Yeah.
washes up.
Look at New York City. Like, they found a lot of bodies that the mob threw over time. They're still intact. There were no skin intact. It was just bones. The cement concrete
Oh
huge
yeah, yeah, yeah.
area.
I mean, you're talking about like New York Harbor and shit. That's a different thing, right?
Yeah,
Like the bones would be picked clean, but like you're talking about like in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean or Mediterranean Sea.
yeah.
You know what I mean, right? Or in the Channel, whole different animal. You know what I mean? Like yo, current shit, fucking sharks, and just all types of banana stuff, super deep.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah, fucking that shit was dark, dude. Legit.
And the thing about it is that the Europe is so they're so freaking how to say this, they're not they're so quiet with everything what they bring out, and then until somebody says something like they have like an eyewitness or somebody that were actually videotaped everything that went on, that's when they start confessing of what they did, and it's like holy shit. Like Germany, when what's her face was in office. What the hell is her name? That fat bitch. That was
Merkel.
yeah, Merkel. She freaking did a lot of shady shit that nobody knew about. Like she would bring freaking guys over, sleep with them, and then kill them.
Kill him.
And then they were like, oh, and then like somebody videotaped it over at her house. Nobody knew about it. They used it as blackmail if she didn't care about the German the German citizens that they were gonna bring it out to light. And she's like, "Oh, go ahead. Nothing's gonna happen to me." And like next like few years, like they brought the video out, and she was like on everybody's shit list.
I mean, yeah, but like nobody really heard about it. You know what I mean? Nobody says shit about it.
No, the Europe was the EU found out, but not the US. Like US was like the hush hush situation. Nobody gave a shit because it didn't happen here.
Yeah, I mean, I never even heard that shit. I mean, and I'm in the know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the EU knew about it. That's why she wasn't like involved like after a while. Like she was like they had to get rid of her. Like shit.
Yeah, I mean, she just got replaced. Like fucking, I want to say a year or two ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the reason why she had to get replaced because the video came out. She thought she was the tough shit. She thought wrong.
I mean, like, is she on trial for killing a dude?
No, what they did is they got rid of her. They said, "Well, you can't be around, can't be in office anymore. Pack your shit, leave."
I mean, she killed people. Like, why is she not going to jail?
Because they didn't have any evidence on her. They just had the video, and that was it. They couldn't find the body or nothing.
That's fucking crazy.
And it's funny how like Germany has so many secrets, even the U.S., and it's hilarious. Like they try to hide shit. It's hard to hide nowadays with the U.S. with the government.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that because they say that January 6th must be. They're saying that they're kind of agreeing now that it's all been
It's all been what?
rigged, all staged
Yeah.
because they got the evidence finally, and what you call it lost her shit after she left office. She found out that they had the evidence on them for January 6th. Nancy Pelosi was crying. She's like, "Please don't post." I'm like, "Shit." Nancy Pelosi's trying to cover shit up. You know it's true. It's like was it the gay attacker there that that beat up her man with a hammer.
The Paul Pelosi thing and shit.
Yeah, and then they kind of find out that was all staged too, because they were saying that he was always at the gay club picking up dudes and shit.
I don't understand like why they think that like people aren't going to find out about shit.
And then they covered up the new like after they found out that he was like going to gay bars and go to like and telling people he was in some BDSM shit. that's when they stopped doing the news like for on him about all that shit. And then there was a tranny witness that was at his place saying that the reason why he had the hammer in his hand because Pelosi was trying to hit him with a hammer. Paul Pelosi was trying to hit the guy with the hammer, and he took it out of his hand.
Like
It's like really.
like the whole like that whole thing is just completely retarded. I have no idea what happened, like at
Well,
all.
well, what started it was they said the window was busted in. It said the only thing what it was busted on the inside instead of the outside. So they set a wellness check on Paul Pelosi to see if he was okay, and they
Right.
said they found the guy. Well, they said the security said they found the guy chasing Paul Pelosi with a hammer, but they didn't get the whole story of the situation why he had the hammer in his hand until like some training said that he was with them at that night. They said Paul Pelosi was chasing him with a hammer because he wouldn't do butt fuck. What the fuck? I was busting out laughing
Like
when I heard that.
everything is retarded now. Like there's nothing normal.
No, it's not. And the funny part was the covering up part that failed on them because Nancy was saying, "Oh, he just broke in and was threatening him and shit. He was gonna steal shit. He didn't steal anything. There was nothing stolen. It's just the guy had a hammer in his hand and they flipped out and they took him in. And they're like, and they're wondering why all that shit's going on. And I think pretty soon you're gonna be seeing a lot of lawsuits happening. Celebrities, everything. And I guess Pnoid's thing cut out. So I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody.
All right, there we go.
Oh,
Sorry,
you
man. I had to
back?
fucking
Oh
I had
no,
to set up my GPS real quick.
no, no,
I
no. I thought your
apologize.
shit called. All right. I was
Nah,
gonna
I had to set up my GPS real quick because like I was fucking
because your
I
thing.
got to go somewhere I ain't never been before.
Yeah,
Well,
I know,
I've
but your
been there,
thing.
but I'm not 100% sure where
No,
the
your
fuck I'm
thing
going.
said had a signal saying it was what you call it, not no signal. So it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, apparently I can't leave this screen, and I don't know what the fucking deal is.
Well,
Yeah, so like
anyways.
I had to go to Google and like look at this fucking address up on the map real
Oh,
quick because
oh,
I'm
it's
down in
fine. No,
Maryland.
no, it's fine. It was just I saw the thing, the no signal thing, so I was like, all right, guess the thing cut
Yeah,
out on you.
sorry, I had to go do that real quick because
No,
I was
no,
like, bro,
no, you're
I
good.
don't
You're
know where the
good.
fuck I am. Like I'm on I-83 heading south down towards 695. I'm pretty sure I know where the fuck I'm going. I'm just not 100% with it. So
Yeah,
you know, I gotta go down here and grab an empty, and then I don't know what the. I'm assuming I'm going to like Herlock or some shit. Should be cool,
yeah.
make some money. You know what I mean? But
Well,
anyway,
it's like I was saying, like you're gonna be seeing like people, like celebrities, everybody gonna be having. You're gonna be seeing lawsuits on people like YouTubers and shit after all this shit comes out
about what?
about being accused for the Epstein files and shit like that. There's
Yeah, I
already.
mean, yeah, I have like, man, listen, like, I don't think that's ever gonna come out.
Well, I know Jim Carrey already sued like 5 YouTubers already after they
Yeah,
were
again,
looking through the
I
files.
yeah, I don't think it will ever come out.
Like, I am not accusing anybody. If anybody watches this video and says I'm accusing people, I'm not. This is from what I seen on the pages. You can look it up. It's on everybody's thing. It's also on Fox 5 and everything else. The Epstein log thing that they showed. Not
You
making
talking
this
about
shit up.
you talking about everybody who rode in the Lolita Express thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, but like, all right, the videotapes and the hard drives that were found there, full of like motherfucking data and video.
Yeah. And then they also had flight data too. That was the flight log data that they found too. That was involved in it in the situation.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I don't think like we're ever going to see like proper proof of shit.
We seen half of it. We didn't see all of it. Most of it was, and most of it was on the list where celebrities and politicians that were almost about to die anyways. Like Nadler, come on now. Nadler's on his last leg. He doesn't even know where he's at anymore. We have Nancy Pelosi that's starting to have dementia. Joe Biden is not even there. His brain is smushed now.
Bill
And
Clinton's not president anymore, and he's soon gonna die.
yeah. And look at George Bush Jr. He looks like he's on his last leg.
Yeah, yo, and it's weird. Like, yo, George Bush Senior lived like fucking forever.
Yeah, he lived a lot longer than any of the other family members. That's funny.
Jimmy Carter like is just now dying.
Well, the reason why he's dying because he had a heart attack in the nursing home. Like some because he was looking at because when they were mentioning the flight logs to him, he freaking had a heart attack right there because they were asking him questions why his name was on the flight logs.
I mean, again, like I really don't think we're ever gonna get any like conclusive shit.
No, we're definitely not. And
Like,
you're gonna see celebrities suing anybody that's gonna cover this shit.
yeah.
And I
I mean,
feel bad.
I don't know how like you would not see that as a fucking trap.
Yeah, like it's so odd to me that like when they first talked about the flight logs, like Nadler and Tom Hanks was like and his wife was like the first ones out of the country. Doesn't that seem really odd to you when you see a celebrity run to a different go to a different country super quickly because they hear a flight log?
Well, what country did you think they went to?
Well, Tom Hanks went to Greece and his wife, and Nadler went to Africa.
Nadler?
Yeah, he was in Africa for like a month when the Maxine Well case was going on,
Yeah, I
and
mean, I know, like Jim Carrey or fucking Tom Hanks travels a lot. Like his wife and him were just in like Australia like forever and shit.
yeah, but I'm saying they were in Greece when the trial first happened because they knew they were gonna if the truth came out they were fucked.
I know as soon as that shit hit, all of a sudden, like a bunch of fucking like CEOs and like rich motherfuckers got like dual citizenship to Cyprus.
Yeah, even the celebrities did too. The ones that were afraid to get caught. Shit, there were. Oh, was it Steven Seagal went to freaking Russia when they were talking about the logs, the flight logs.
I
Ugh.
mean, like I hate to say this, I feel like that would be like the least of Steven Seagal's worries. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that guy's a bag of shit just to begin with.
Well, did you hear about the story like a long time ago when they drew in what was it? I think it was Above the Law when they did the movie. It was about the Italians, Bob and shit like that.
Yeah.
And what you call it? One of the people that we know that I knew from they used to do what you call it? They were stuntmen. And he goes, "Oh, you can't choke me out. I'm professional and shit." Like, I can handle being choked out. And the guy was like, he put his hand like, because he was from New York and shit, so he knew how to take. He used to work with the mob back in the day. So he says, "I'll show you how to take out somebody." So he had the piano wire and he had it right on his neck and he twisted it so hard that he couldn't breathe. He passed out and shit himself.
Yeah, I heard about him shitting himself.
Yeah, he shit himself so hard they had to clean the set in New York because he shit all over the chair, all over the floor. This was in Brooklyn when this happened, and it was hilarious as shit to see a man get taken out by an ex hitman. I couldn't stop laughing when I heard about that. I was like, really? An ex hitman took out not Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal with just one hold with a wire hold. And it's funny how he tried to act like he was all professional until like the truth came out. Like he sucks. Like he
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
I haven't like I have like I know like Steven. Have you watched any of Steven Seagal's most recent content?
Oh yes, I have, and it's funny as hell. He can't fight for shit. He can't even fight anybody. He was there was a fight scene where he was trying to karate chop somebody and he got his ass kicked by a stuntman. Holy shit.
Like yo, this dude legitimately like yo,
Yeah.
Steven's literally
Yeah. It made me laugh so hard that he got his ass kicked by a stuntman. and it
well, yeah. I mean, Steven Seagal's not a real martial
and
artist.
they didn't cut it. They didn't cut it out either because he said we want it in the thing, the fight in the scene. Like he wanted to act like he was a true professional at fighting, and he got his ass kicked. Like the stuff.
He's so,
The,
yo, he's so terrible.
listen, there was this one movie. Remember the remake? Was it the sequel? The reboot? Kickboxer reboot. Remember that shit? Well, in like the second reboot, Steven Seagal was in it, and it was against him and Van Damme. And Van Damme kicked his ass. Like he seriously, hands down, he was doing the stunts himself. He wasn't had no stunt man involved or nothing. He just fucking roundhouse kicked him in the face, and he fucking and freaking Steven Seagal fell down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I mean because like yo, Van Damme's a real martial artist. Like yo, he's a fucking world champion,
He's a
like fucking kung fu karate guy or whatever.
he was judo and what else
Taekwondo or some shit.
taekwondo,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And he has two black belts for each one.
Yeah, and he was a world champion. Like yo, was it like went and fucking fought other people in a ring. Like there's video
Yeah.
of him. You know what I mean? Actually in competitions fighting. He can really
Well,
fight. You know what I mean?
well, he fought what's his face there, Ken, the guy that used to do Step by Step back in the day. What the hell's his name? The goofy guy there. Well,
Balky?
he was no. Step by Step, the one that played Ken from Step by Step, the weird
Man,
surfer
listen,
dude.
bro. I'll be real, man. Like, I remember there was the chick who used to do the workout videos.
Yep,
I think Alan Watts was the dad,
yep.
and then
Belky
there
played
was,
in it at the end,
huh?
near the end. Belky
Who?
played near the end. The one that played
So,
Belky in Perfect Strangers played it near the end
okay.
as Belky.
Yeah, yeah. And then there was there was kids. I don't really like. I remember one of the kids who was like
Yeah,
weirdo
one of
looking,
yeah,
but I
one of
never
them played.
seen him after that. Like he disappeared into the ether.
He stopped acting and started teaching.
Okay.
The
Yes.
one that played Billy, played Billy in Blind Fury, and also played Step by Step. He's still doing acting. He's just fat now. He's just like overweight now. The guy that played Billy.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about that.
like some dude just walked up, punched him in the fucking
That
face in
was
New
old
York.
news. That was like 2 years ago.
Man, listen, bro. All right, I'm bringing it up right now because we're talking about like old ass shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Like yo, because I don't, you know, what I mean, I really don't know like a whole lot about. I think you were the one that told me the story, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
Because what happened was Rick Moranis was coming back from going from his teaching in school. He's doing special needs teaching for disabled kids, like not retarded, but like kids that have wheelchair bounds and shit like that. And he was getting back to his apartment, his skyrise apartment, and some black guy just walked up and punched him in the head and ran her off, a little bitch. And what happened was like there was a lot of witness. People wanted to beat the shit out of him after they found that he hit Rick Moranis.
Yeah, he's Rick Moranis. You know what I mean? Like, yo, he's a fucking celebrity. Did Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Spaceballs. And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Well,
Fucking
everybody
little
when they
plant shop
saw
of horrors.
they saw who he hit when they saw that he hit Rick Moranis. Everybody kicked his ass in the subway for hitting Rick Moranis. He had like a black eye and busted teeth
Shit.
after that.
Fuck that dude up.
Because he's well protected by the New York group.
I mean, like, that's just unnecessary.
And the thing was, how that got started was this black guy was just hitting random white people because he was part of BLM. Because
Makes sense.
he's like, oh, nobody's gonna go after me because I'm Black Lives Matter. He thought wrong. Even the Asian guy jumped on his ass.
Well, especially the Asian guy, man. Listen, Asians are known for that type of shit, right? You know what I mean? You ain't never heard of rooftop Koreans and shit?
Yeah, I know about that shit.
Yo, I watched this shit. I think it's called All Death, right?
Yeah,
And like they have basically it's like a classroom, and then they have like one dude go up to the front, and they just slay each other back and forth, right? They
yeah.
just fucking play the dozens, right? And there's this one dude who's fucking hilarious, this light skinned dude who sits back in the corner, like he says all types of ill shit. But like there was a fucking Korean kid who tried to talk trash and said like he looked like fucking he was born to be a stepdad,
Yeah.
right? And my man said, "Shut up, your fucking daddy shot a nigga in L.A. in '98, right?" Yo, I was fucking dying. Yo, the whole room lost it, right?
Well, was it the guy that did the rooftop shooting? He died now, but he was interviewed because he did the riots, the George Floyd riots. He was in it, shooting all the people that were looting and shit. Ask him
I
why.
mean, that's got to be better than that. Fucking what the hell's that guy's name? The American Sniper dude.
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about. He had a movie too, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he tried to pretend that he was on top of the Superdome at the same time he was in
yeah,
Afghanistan shooting black dudes, fucking robbing fucking TVs and shit.
yeah. And it was hilarious because they try to make him out to be like a superhero and shit. And it was it's like, bruh.
Yo, and he was a complete and utter piece of shit.
Yeah. Like everybody saw the real video of him like being racist and shit. And they're like, oh, he's not a hero anymore.
I forget his fucking name. 10 some shit or something like that.
Yeah, I
But
don't
like,
remember either. It was funny
yeah,
as
I don't really care to be perfectly honest with you. But like, what a bag.
and then they were like, "Oh, we like," they were trying to praise the being like this noble home guy, like home felt guy, and it's like they saw the real video, and they're like, "Holy shit, he's totally different. What they made him out in Hollywood."
Yeah, right. Just got complete and utter bag of human fucking garbage and shit.
Well, like at the end when they the person that shot him, he said like he was being really rude to him and shit. Like he was teaching him how to shoot, but he was also being a dick to him, calling him a
Yeah.
pussy and shit because he can't shoot. And like one day he shot him. He said that was sick of getting picked on by
Like, why? Why would you like stand here and fuck with somebody who got a gun in their fucking hand?
him. They didn't show the
Like,
part that he called him a pussy. All they do is they showed the part where he when there was like people came home and found like brought home a freaking a red, white, and blue flag to the house. So that was it. I was like, "What's the real reason why we got shot?" Nobody explained that one.
I mean, just flash the stars and bars. Americans will get in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Americans go, fuck yeah, right? Start bombing shit and fucking hopping in bass boats, fucking banging off the fucking AR-15s and shit.
but the when the truth came out, like the movie like
Chris
didn't do
Kyle.
well.
Chris Kyle was
Yeah,
the guy's name. Chris
yeah.
Kyle.
Like after the movie came out, like after the truth came out, the movie like stopped becoming popular. It went on like
Yeah.
it went on like discount shelves after that after the truth came out.
I mean, the real bitch, like, I'll be real, like, the one that really pissed me off was the Jesse Ventura thing,
Oh,
right?
the one that thinks he knows everything but didn't really know anything.
Like, he tried to say Jesse Ventura, all right?
Yeah,
Jesse the Body Ventura, who starts every show with, I was a governor, a Marine, a fighter,
and I tried to
right?
become president. Yeah, I know the whole
Right,
bit.
right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah, right. He tried to say that Jesse Ventura walked into a Las Vegas fucking hotel, right?
Yeah,
With like all of the like, what I mean, like fucking all these SEALs here, all these Navy SEALs,
yeah,
right? Nice, I was a SEAL, right? But like, he went in there and said, "Those SEALs deserve to die. Fuck them."
yeah. That's what really like he said that.
And then Chris Kyle said he punched him in the face. Right? Okay.
Yeah,
So let's add up all the things that don't make any goddamn sense in this story.
yeah,
A guy who is truly about that fucking Navy SEAL life, who literally goes to like all of the fucking meetups, who knows what classes he comes out of, who calls out fucking guys for doing motherfucking stolen valor,
yeah,
right? Like a dude who lives like he's leaned his whole life on that fucking Navy SEAL thing.
yeah.
Said, "Fuck those SEALs, they deserve to die."
Well, well, nobody tells anybody this, but Jesse Ventura is like a liar at bullshit and every most shit. Like the only reason why he was a Navy SEAL in like 1 year because he was forced to go to celebrate the cheer on the troops as a wrestler. That's the only
No,
reason.
no, 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 no. Because wrestling didn't exist in 1971.
No, no, no. No, they had the you don't know about the Japanese wrestling, right?
Know about the what?
Japanese wrestling.
Yeah, I know about Japanese wrestling.
Well, anyways, he was in the Japanese wrestling in the early days, like before it hit off in America. He was in it, and he was cheering the troops on because it was I forget what it was. It was Vietnam at the time,
Yeah.
and he was cheering troops on over with the Japanese wrestling show, and and I guess like something happened, like there was gunfire and shit when they were doing the show, and he had to pick up because they told him to pick up a gun and shoot. So if you don't know how to shoot, you're fucked. and he was
Okay.
yeah,
Right, and he went through the AI, the advanced training for fucking SEALs.
yeah,
Right, he went to SEAL school. Right, and then he went to Vietnam and served with the SEALs as a soldier. He was not just there for the Japanese wrestling thing. He was an actual SEAL. He really actually served, like 100%.
but he's an
Right,
ass.
like he wasn't. He was not there as like a Bob Hope comedy tour guy. Right, he wasn't there like like to wrestle in front of the troops. He was there as a fucking like he was in Vietnam as a SEAL, like 100%. That's a real actual thing. Like like you can pay. I've seen the paperwork and whatever. It's like like fucking Jesse's had to whip it out once or twice. And I mean, the show is DD two
Well, still,
fourteen and
he's an
shit.
ass. That's all I got to say. And the thing,
Yo, he is an ass. He is an ass, 100%. And he fucking he's crazy. But on the same point, he is an honorable guy. Now he sued fucking Chris Kyle, right?
yeah,
Or he sued the publisher, right, of the fucking book, and then the movie people, or he sued the publisher of the book,
yeah, he
right?
didn't sue the movie people because they didn't get
Yeah,
sued.
they didn't put that shit in there, right?
Yeah,
Because it was utter and complete falsehood, right? And because they did the research on the movie, right? And what I mean, like, they couldn't stand here and like put 90% of the guy's fucking claims in,
yeah,
right? And so they sat here and fucking they researched that and found it to be nonsense. Jesse sued the book publisher, and then the book publisher like fucking tried to take the money out of the widow and shit, right?
yeah,
And Jesse refused to take payment
yeah.
from the widow of Chris Kyle because he said like, "Yo, look, I'm not trying to take money out of her hands. Not it.
No, it
I
wasn't even
just,
her. It
what I mean,
wasn't
I
even.
just
She
want
didn't
this
know about the
on."
story. She was there
Yeah,
just
yeah,
for the
yeah.
ride.
He said, I just want my name cleared, right? Because like, yo, I don't want anybody thinking I said this shit about the seals or that I got beat up by fucking Chris Kyle when none of that happened, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
right, and all of them said no, none of
And the funny part when Chris passed away because he got murdered, but there was a reason to that. But they didn't mention why the reason to that. They just said he got shot by somebody that was crazy, but they didn't tell the whole story about it. They just only showed
no.
like they just only said one thing and that was it. And come to find out, the truth came out saying that he was bullying him while they were shooting, while he was telling he was no good, he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, Chris Kyle was a bag, like 100%. He was a bag of shit, dude. You
Then
know.
when the movie like after the movie came out, it went to discount shelves because a lot of people found out like most of the shit that was in the movie was false.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I bet that happened in a lot of places, right? But like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like there's not a lot of people that actually know like how much of a bag of shit that guy really was, right? Like, it's not common knowledge. Like, this is more like, all right, so me and you,
Yeah,
right? We go talk to normal people about shit, and they're lost
yeah, because they don't know
most
what
of
the
the
hell we're
fucking
talking
time.
about. Seriously, don't.
Because we're deep. Me and you are deep woods in the goddamn internet shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, we're
we do our
like,
research and shit.
like, bro, we the more shit we learn on here, the less capability we have of being able to talk to like normal human beings and shit.
Because we'd be like talking to normies is like talking to stupid people, basically.
Well, yeah, they're number one, they're borderline retarded, but number two, nobody's actually paying attention. Like, there's been like 4 or 5 times in the past couple of years I've mentioned Alex Jones, right?
Yeah.
And every time I do, people go, "Who?"
It's like watch the memes and
That's
you'll
the
find
level
out.
that we're on. Like,
Yeah,
and Alex Jones is baby steps compared to the shit that like we're into.
yeah. And
They don't even know who the fucking guy is.
And when we mention shit, they're like, "How do you know all this shit?" Because we know a lot more than what you think.
What?
That's because they think how we know all this shit because we do research. We watch up on shit, see what's going on.
But yeah, I mean, like, all right. So here's everybody else. Like my baby's mom's, right? For instance,
Yeah.
my baby's mom's watches shows about like a broad who has the superpower to talk to horses.
What the fuck?
40-year-old woman.
That's funny as shit.
You know what I'm saying? 40-year-old female watches the show. Like literally, I think it's called Heartland or some shit, right?
Yeah, probably.
And I'm gonna be real, son. This is one of the most popular shows in the world right now.
I don't even know
The show
why.
about a female who lives in like Montana or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And literally, like, it's a family of people. It's like Seventh Heaven with horses and a
So
broad who's
so you're
telepathically connected to horses.
basically you're saying like Ghost Whisperers meet was it what the fuck was that show back in the day? The Wilsons mixed with all the other shit shows from back in the day, like back in the 80s and 90s.
Think like Seventh Heaven meets
The Waltons.
Aquaman and um,
Oh
Little
shit.
House on the Prairie.
Now I would say the Waltons are more be like the more example for that one.
Well, yeah, Waltons. Yeah, the Waltons are better. Waltons are better. Yeah. All right. So Seventh Heaven meets the Waltons, right?
Yeah.
Meets. Wait. No, even better. I got even better. Even better for you. Even better for you. Okay. Sex in the City meets Gilmore Girls meets the Waltons meets Doctor Doolittle.
Oh shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we are right now, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny how people think those shows are awesome. I'm like, yeah, that's was it another show I saw. What the fuck was it? It was not Night Court. Night Court's actually decent. Um, it's that new show they had out. It was it was some stupid show. I don't remember because it was lame as fuck. And they were trying to compete with Night Court and they failed. It's hilarious that a reboot of Night Court outbeat the newer shows because the newer shows are shit.
They're trash. You know what I mean? There's no new ideas. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Jesus fucking Christ. Holy shit, man. This fucking road is fucked up. Right? But like
yeah,
these like this shit is it's torturous to watch. I'll be
yeah.
honest with you. You know what I mean? Like it is by far one of the most torturous shows I've ever watched in my whole life. It's just you're like, wow,
Well, it's like
this is awful.
like Yellowstone. Yellowstone reminds me of like Sons of Anarchy meets freaking what was it? What's that old movie there? Yuma 360 Yuma. That's what it reminded me of. Like Yuma
Okay.
mixed with um with that. It's like really. It's like you just took Sons of Anarchy, mixed in with like a Western style show, and you got that. You got Yellowstone. What the fuck? I think everybody's backstabbing each other. They got their
Yeah,
own
this show,
posses.
like literally, like there's just it's it, it's I'm trying to like in my brain describe it to another grown man, right? And it's a rather difficult task if I'm honest with you, right?
Yeah,
Because like basically it's about like a family, right, with like grown daughters, and then like all their neighbors, and like they're engaged or unengaged or fucking this person or fucking that person, right? They go to church,
So
right?
basically, a
They
hillbilly
they
group.
go and they go and talk to like doctors, or they go talk to horses, or a broad goes and talks to horses, right? She gets ill from having too much talk with horses.
It sounds so stupid.
Yo, it is. It's such a dumb fucking show, but women love it because I'm gonna keep this 100% honest with you, okay?
And I
Right?
thought,
Like
yeah,
the old MGTOW rules still apply, okay?
yeah,
If a broad has a big dog, she's probably fucking it, all right?
yeah.
And the reason why chicks like horses, I'm 90% sure, is because they all want to fuck them, all right? I'm 98% sure about this fact.
Well, the thing, it's like all these new shows, they don't have any like directional ideas how to lead it. They just go, oh hey, let's just take it from a book from like take it for ideas from like another show and put it on this show. It's like it's not gonna work because how the original creators of that show did it, because they have an idea of sense of idea how they want to run the show. These guys today in Hollywood don't know how to run it.
Well, now, here's what they do. What they do is they go, yo, look, we need to make a new show because we're running low on the monies, right?
Yeah,
So, like, let's brainstorm about a show, right? And they're like, yo, what do we want, right? What's our consumer group that we're looking for, right? And they go, all right, well, either we want men from 18 to 50, or we want like women from like 10 to like 60, right? We're
yeah,
like, yeah, women from 10 to 60 sounds great. You know what I mean? They spend all the monies, right?
yeah,
How do we get them to watch our show? And they go, what do women like? Horses. They love horses. All women love horses, right? You know what I mean?
yeah,
What else do they like? Yo, they like, you know what I'm saying, motherfucking the idea of a traditional life, but they like getting their vaginas filled up, right?
yeah,
So let's have some unrealistic looking motherfucking like dudes, right?
yeah,
Like let's make them all look like they're capable of like being bull riders and fucking professional athletes at the same time, right?
yeah,
But they're gonna work on a horse farm in Montana, right?
yeah,
Well, wouldn't they have like bad teeth and broken bones, poor posture, or bad diet? Nah, I
yeah.
mean, wouldn't they all be fucked up and like dirty all the time? No, perfectly clean clothes. Okay, every time they show up, everything's gonna be spotless. Well, how does that work? It's Montana. They're gonna be covered in like horse shit, right? If they're
Horse
running a
shit
ranch,
and mud and shit. Yeah.
and mud and all the things, right? All of the things. Okay, no, they're not gonna have that. Okay, because you know what? This show is meant for women. All right. Well, what else would we do? You know what I'm saying? Because like we got to have more to the storyline than just like fucking dudes in flannel shirts with six packs and women getting their vaginas filled up and horses. Well, how about this? I got an idea. How about one of them can talk to horses? What? That's a crazy idea.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah.
She'll be able to conversate with the horses, right? Through some type of empathic means. You know,
Yeah.
yo, what is it gonna look like? Yo, it's gonna look like Sandra Bullock when she tried to fuck Sly Stallone. You know what I mean? In Demolition Man. Okay. Like, yo,
And the funny part about Hollywood these days, like the ideas for the movies and shows, is like they have to go off of like something that happened like 10 years ago, like Cocaine Bear. Well, I can't say shit about Cocaine Bear. It looks good, but still, they had to go rely on like old stories and shit just to make a movie now.
yo, this is why I'm making my cartoon. Okay. Because I feel like we need something interesting to watch.
Yeah, no shit.
Right. Like I saw what other people
Yeah,
potatoes getting fucked by
yeah,
carrots. Right.
It
retarded.
is
To be
retarded,
honest
but
with you,
it's
it's just
funny as
retarded.
hell though.
I mean, I'm watching it. I'm over here like, bro, like this is. I'm kind of uncomfortable watching a potato fucking a carrot. You know what I
Oh shit!
mean? Give this 100%. And then that fat potato at home watching Fox News.
Yeah,
Just weird. You know what I mean? Weird
yeah,
ass fucking like the whole cuck thing. Strange. You know what I mean? In general, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So like I made my show so that we can have like action and interesting shit, crazy characters, community come together, new ideas that haven't been done yet. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right? Like nobody's ever made a cartoon with fucking gay semen demon buttworms. You know what I'm saying?
That was
Never
actually
has it happened.
creative. That was actually creative, and I like that. It wasn't like some last minute thinking. You actually put thought in that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, yo, literally, we have mess zombies that fucking fiend for Sudafed, right? Who kidnapped the fucking president and demanded a container ship of Sudafed that they thrust back to the Appalachians, right? Like, bruh, this is a fucking A1 tier show. There's nanobots
Yeah,
inside of the jab. A broad got pregnant to the jab somehow, right?
yeah.
We're gonna have a whole storyline about her going to go meet three wise men named fucking Epstein, Clinton, and goddamn fucking Gates. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, like, when I was looking at making a TV show, it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that shit because it's gonna like make me go insane if I start making shows and shit. I said I'll let them do their own shit.
But yeah, I mean, the way I figure it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it should be, you know what I mean, like fucking super interesting.
something that's
Maybe I
like,
can make some fucking cash off of it. You know
yeah,
what I mean? We could bring the community together.
yeah, and we can shit on
And
anybody that's
and
like
it's the
it.
best weapon in the world too. Like we
Yeah,
can just shit on everything all the fucking time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right?
And it's funny, like everybody's like, why you don't do your own show?" It's like, well, for one, I would be shitting on everybody that I know, and nobody would want to hang with me anymore. But that's alright.
Well, not see here, and here's the other thing. I am a great manager of people, right?
Yeah,
Like I'm really good at that type of thing. So like I'm able to get people to like give me a lot other than Willie, Willie's, you know, Willie, right? But like I'm able to
yeah,
like get people to give me the shit that they want or that I want for the show. And
yeah,
on top of that, I'm able to go like, man, that guy is fucking, you know, what I mean, is perfect for this, right? And then I take
yeah.
him and I turn him into this.
Like I was saying, we should have like one of those what the hell is the vape stoner hippies for your show.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about doing a timeline. All right, you remember X-Men,
Yeah,
right? When like they had the cure in that one movie or whatever, right?
yeah,
Well, I was thinking about, right, having like one of the gay zombies, right, have an existential crisis about whether or not they wanted to be gay, right, or not have buttworms, right, and like have like a whole song and dance number, right, you know, like fucking like a Disney Frozen type of musical, right,
yeah,
where like they stand there and they go like, but I don't want to not be gay. Right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And like,
yeah.
yeah, legit. Right? And like, you know, like, little, like, and this would be like a super interesting, like, you know,
No, no, you know what you should do is do like
what
the
up?
the clock the orange was it clock orange type style beginning like for the gay the gay that doesn't want to be gay anymore and have them watch like the LGBT the woke LGBTQ community doing stupid shit and go like, this is you, this is gonna be you in the future, and he's like, I don't want to be gay no more. Show like the fat ugly chick with the glasses. This is your community now.
We have like a conversation, like, since we have a cure for the gay buttworms, right?
Yeah,
and basically we can get rid of their gayness. Like, all right, so if we could cure gayness, right? How many people would take the anti-gay shit, right?
Not a lot, but you'll see people taking it.
Right. I mean, this is the real question, right? At the end of the day, right? Like,
Yeah,
because this is an actual like weird thing that like is a little like, look, all right. So here's, yeah, all right. 4chan has these amazing trolls, right?
no shit.
And what they do is it's basically like a kid who gets locked into a school, right? And they want to go outside and have a smoke,
Yeah,
and they put up a fence, right? And every time they do this, 4chan finds some kid who can worm his fucking way in between the fence posts, right? And this is what we're doing, right? We're standing here and we're like, we're taking our memes and like working them into like a
yeah,
fucking knife to cut right in between their shit, right?
yeah.
Every fucking time, and just cut at the heart of their whole thing, right? To go like, well, what if you didn't have to be gay, right? What if we had a cure for your gayness? Would you take it, or is being
No,
gay,
no, no,
right?
no, no. The anti-gay is also curious. Buttworms and AIDS. Would you take it?
I'm not like, yo, we don't have to worry about all the H, right? But like
Yeah.
yo, would you take the anti-gay fucking horse medicine, right?
You'll be seeing people taking it probably.
That is a legitimate question. I mean, I know
Yeah,
there's people who like they're living on the down low, right? And they're like,
yeah,
man, listen, like I wish I wasn't gay. I'd have to go suck a dick on the weekends at the fucking, you know what I mean, at the Comedy
yeah,
Cellar or whatever fucking shit's been
yeah,
going down in Atlanta, right? You know what I mean, right? But imagine, you know what I mean, that like you had a pill that you could take and it goes away, and all of a sudden you're straight and normal and you want to fuck broads, right? And you
yeah,
turn into a Chad, right? You turn into like a Giga Chad that like, you know, like you're like, hey, you eat a dick, you bitch, right? Just immediately,
yeah.
right? What would happen?
It would probably change the society a little bit different.
Yeah, right? And to start and have this dumbass to have this like weird ass conversation is my cartoon, right?
Yeah,
Is going like somebody doing a musical number about, you know what I mean, like not wanting to be straight, right? Even though there's a cure for gayness.
no, you should if you're gonna do it like act like it's like a serious conversation, and then like at the end just break out in song just to make it even more funny.
Yo, you know who I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get Pinky Salmon.
That's a cool idea. And
Legit.
get Roots. Roots would be another awesome one to do with if you ever have to do music with.
Well, nah, I'll get Pinky Salmon, and then like I'll find like a Giga Chad sounding motherfucker. You know what
All
I
right.
mean? Right? Like I don't know, maybe like Ed to do like the straight voice. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Because if you're just gonna do everything with music, then it's gonna turn off people. What you gotta do is you gotta reel them in before you do the musical.
Oh yeah, we're not. Listen, bro. Again, we're doing like music, right? You know what I mean? Like 40, 50 seconds of fucking music, nothing
Yeah,
more. Okay,
yeah,
legit. Okay, like yo, like it's gonna be like remember my cartoons are short, so like it's gonna be
yeah.
really short. The music,
They are
fuck,
really short.
right? Yeah, I mean, but like what it is, it's gonna be like you know like fucking like somebody's gonna run up to him and be like, "Hey, did you hear? They have a cure for homosexuality. You could go be normal now, right?"
Yeah,
And like they're walking and like all of a sudden it starts like raining and shit and it turns them like all noir or whatever, right?
yeah,
And they're like looking at a puddle and they see their own reflection or some shit,
yeah,
right? And like they're standing here going like, do I wanna be straight? I gotta figure out some musical type shit or whatever, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean? You know, and they're like, no, no, I'll be gay for my life, right? Whatever.
yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like
No,
this will, you know what I mean?
when you do
Like
that,
this would be
do
like
I
the
want?
existential crisis
No,
of
if you're
like
doing that,
today.
I want to be. Do I want to be gay? And then have like this one, like one chick go,
I'll get Pinky to help me with the music. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because I'm kind of musical, but on the same point, you know what I mean? I'm not. Right?
yeah. But it's
Like
fun.
this is because this is a fascinating shit and it's fucking hilarious too.
Yeah,
Right?
and it's funny how you guys are doing it. You and Floyd are doing it. It fits well with Floyd. It also fits well with you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, dude, it's so much easier to just all right. So instead of inventing new characters, right? It works better if you create a character you already know, right?
Yeah,
So like when I write shit for Floyd, right?
because
You know what I mean?
he
Like
already
I'm
does it. He already acts like an ass and gay
yeah,
tag.
yeah, yeah.
So
I've had so many conversations with Floyd. I can write him. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I know what he sounds like. I know what his brain's saying. I know his inner monologue and shit. You know what I mean? Right?
he, he he's like the cross dressing furry. That's basically what he is.
I mean, like him being a furry is like hasn't even really been mentioned in the goddamn. It might have. I don't remember whether like
No, he
that
didn't
you're.
mention it yet, but you should just for laughs. Like you're a damn
I should.
furry.
I should. I should. I should. But like that's not. Look, I'm not trying to drag it, right?
No,
Like I'm trying to convince Floyd that like Floyd is an everyman who everyone like sees themselves as at some point. He's a Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He's Malcolm
yeah,
in the Middle, right? Like that's what he's that
he's
existential loser, right?
yeah.
Who I mean, like even
He
at like the top of his shit. I had
like
one
he
part of episode 2, right?
it's like Malcolm. It's like Malcolm. Like when Malcolm like screws himself up with everything he does. That's what he like
Yeah,
Floyd is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, like in episode 2, right, where like Floyd gave this whole speech, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I did like the rising music behind him and shit, and like zoomed in on his face little by little as he went through his
yeah.
lines. You know what I mean? Right? And he's like, "Why? Why would I believe in a God who hates me?" And just he goes all this shit, right? Just unloads on this fucking thing, right?
Yeah,
And like he nailed it. You know what I mean? Like 100%, just nailed just every part of it, right? And
yeah,
just the music was rising. You know what I mean? Like it was fucking amazing, and like he was having his moment, right?
yeah.
And like as soon as it ended, I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Put the goddamn dress on, bitch."
It's funny. Like all of us is thinking of new ideas and shit, and like some are a hit and some of them are a miss. But how you did your show is like it's a little bit more genius than all the other ones. I have to give you credit for that show.
I've been thinking about it for 6 years.
Well, you were talking about that the time when we were last had our fight. You were saying that you were going to do a cartoon, and you never thought what it was going to be like.
Well, like, all right. So you remember the Church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga?
Yeah,
I made a fucking intro, right,
yeah,
about the white trash no state where like there was a great slapping, right,
yeah,
and like the kids all like fucking. There were many children born who brush burned their mom's vaginas and shit,
yeah,
right? You know what I mean? Like again, like I've been working on this idea for 6 fucking years in my head, little by little. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like working out what I'm gonna do. I have about 5 episodes, full episodes planned out, like
yeah,
whole storylines and shit. And usually it's like 3 parts to an episode. That way I can do like 5 minute things,
yeah,
right? And they all add up to like 15 minutes. And
yeah,
so like I did episode 1, that was like 12 minutes. Second episode was 3 parts,
yeah.
two
Three
parts.
parts.
Was it 3? Yeah, I think yeah, it
Yeah,
was three
three.
parts, right? You know what I mean? And like that worked out. And now we're on like the third episode with the buttworms.
Yeah,
Um, I want to do like some world building type of shit. You know what I mean? Where like we're gonna have I have an episode planned where there's a glory hole episode, right?
yeah,
Where like gaming's gonna have a glory hole business, right? And it's gonna be they're gonna try and put him out of business because of the alligators he has roaming around saying they're dangerous to the customers,
yeah,
right? But the reality is that the mayor's son has a competing glory hole business, right? And they're just trying to play like nepotism and favorites and shit.
yeah,
And I mean, like, fucking, we're gonna go and try and talk to the mayor right, about it, and like the mayor's gonna stand here and like fucking say like I can do what I want, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like a
Yeah.
boss hog something thing or whatever. Like you simple white trash just don't understand, right?
Yeah.
And be like fucking call us white trash, motherfucker. Clack clack. This is the fucking trash no state. Blah 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 blah. Right? And we kill him,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then like you know, what I mean, we cut to like the next scene where like I'm talking to fucking gaming and shit, and gaming's thanking me and Floyd for going and helping them or whatever it was. You know what I mean? And we're like, man, listen, like, yo, we're homies. You know, this is what we do. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, we love you, man. Right?
Yeah.
Regardless, you know, I don't really care if, you know what I'm saying, you a gay Floridian living in the motherfucking mountains and shit. You know what I mean? With a glory hole business. You know what I mean? We love you. And we love your pet alligator. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
my children's. Right? And
Yeah.
then, like, behind us, there's like a fucking alligator dragging the boss hog's body into the goddamn lake and shit. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And then I have an episode with Alley Biscuits planned. Right?
Yeah.
Which an alley biscuit is any type of rock or stone found in an alleyway. It could be a brick, could be a piece of the road, could be a fucking like a stone. I don't care. Alley biscuit, right? And they're gonna try to ban alley biscuits because like my kids are going around throwing rocks at people's windows and shit, right?
Yeah.
And like the Karen who's like leading the fucking charge, her husband starts getting beaten up by this like Debo motherfucker like on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And the kids all start throwing alley biscuits at the fucking Debo guy, right? And then the dude ends up smashing the fucking Debo dude in the head with the fucking brick, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then everybody's like, look, alley biscuits can be used for good, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of like a play on like the gun fucking nonsense or whatever, the 2A shit, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like fucking, uh, the mayor comes out with like the alligator like completely draped over him and shit, like fucking like
Yeah.
halfway eaten, going, I declare alley biscuits to be illegal, right? I have yeah, I got that episode planned. Um trying to think here. Fucking shit, man. I had more episodes in the fucking box. I had a bunch of shit like I wanted to fucking do. Um Glory Hole, fucking the joint. I'm trying to think here. There was some other shit. Oh, like fucking we were gonna fucking like me and Mike, we're gonna have like the slosh come,
Yeah.
right? Which is like where like Planet Nibiru goes by, right? And like fucking the Earth sloshes, and then like all of a sudden North America ends up like underwater or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And because they built a wall around the trash no state, like we're all safe, right? Yeah, I had a bunch of world building type of shit I was gonna do. You know what I mean?
You should do it though, if you want to
I,
get
I'm
that.
working all this stuff, man. I'm working on like right now. I
Yeah.
just got all Joker's lines he gave me, so I got to put all that shit together. I got to record Floyd shit. I got to record Rambo shit.
Yeah.
Um, I got two parts left of this episode, which is I got this next scene where I meet Joker and Rambo, right?
Yeah.
And fucking, I find out that what I mean, like I have an extra kid named Rambo I didn't know about, right? And he's just gonna spout lines from like the movie and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And every time he talks, it's just gonna be a close up of his eyes, right? You know what I mean? Right? Just all bloodshot and shit. With like a bandana, right? And like some
Yeah.
black stripes are across his fucking face,
Yeah.
right? And he's gonna be like, he's gonna stand there and go, when you're pushed, killing's as easy as breathing, right? I didn't ask for this. They drew first blood, right? You know what I mean? He's just gonna be like stabbing chickens and fucking shit up.
Oh
And like he's
shit.
gonna creep Floyd the fuck out, right? Because Floyd's just gonna be scared shitless of him. Like we're gonna be standing there going like, all right, man, how are we gonna get into this fucking warehouse and that security? And then like you're just gonna see Rambo swing in on a fucking rope, right? And like just fucking gaffle the guards and shit, right? And then we're gonna turn around and look and like fucking it's gonna, oh, okay, well that's one way of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's a cool idea though. That's a really good idea though. I
Huh?
thought how you played it out is gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I have all this shit in my head, like Like, cause since I make YouTube videos and like I'm used to like just putting them together in my fucking head on the fly. You know what I mean? Like I'll go and like I know what I want to do. I know what I need. I grab all the pictures and shit. And I do all that stuff. You know what I mean? So like I'll do all that first, and I already have like the shit already planned out before I make the video. You know what I mean? And I'll
Yeah.
adjust it as I go. You know, because they're gonna have to make adjustments, and then everything always works out or whatever. Same thing with the cartoon.
Well, I hope the YouTube anime shows does well for you though.
I'm sure. I mean, like I'm gonna start a Rumble channel for it too.
You should, just so you can piss off more people.
Oh hell yes, right. I'm gonna start its own. It's gonna have its own Rumble channel. Um,
Yeah.
Eventually, once I get like, I feel like I have enough episodes together and I'm able to do this quickly. You know what I mean? Once I get this like to the point where I can put this shit together in like a night.
So
You know what I mean?
so the question I have, who are you gonna do is for Joe Rogan?
I'm gonna use his podcast clips.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna grab some like crazy shit that he said on the fucking podcast.
And you gotta so animate his eye, like you have to do the eye thing that he normally does, the Joe Rogan eye, the eye twitch.
Now
Freaking
I have a Joe Rogan puppet already made up and shit, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So like basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fucking like have the puppet saying like his Joe Rogan nonsense. You
yeah.
know
But
what I
you
mean?
gotta. But I'm saying like you gotta do his normal eye movement, like when he gets angry, his eyes twitches and shit.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure of exactly how that I'm gonna like, you know, like incorporate Joe Rogan into like because like this next part of the episode where I go get the ivermectin, I'm iffy about just as a whole. I don't really know like how the fuck
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Right. And you know, like fucking, I know Joe Rogan has to be in the episode, right, saying some fucking shit.
yeah.
So I'm
You gotta get
a
the clips from like the Alex Jones shit where he says like random shit.
oh, Alex Jones is 100% going in this fucking episode, like 100%, right? And we're gonna do a Ukraine type of thing too, right? As well,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like fucking that one, you know, what I mean, I'm gonna have to like do some, you know, what I mean, thinking on like how I want to do it. You know, I used to have another guy I could bounce ideas off of back and forth, right?
yeah,
Mike, and he was like me, like he was extremely funny, right?
yeah.
And
And
stupid smart. You know what I
because
mean?
I don't know what the hell happened to him though. Like he like I don't know what the hell happened. Like he stopped talking to everybody.
Who?
Like
Mike goes in and out, right?
yeah, because
Like Mike,
like the
Mike's iffy.
last time we were talking, he got really pissed off at somebody. I forgot what it was. And I was like, all right, I'll leave you
He got
be.
upset at Ed. I think the last time I talked to him.
Was it Ed? I don't remember. All I remember, he was upset. He was pissed off, and I'm like, yeah, I'll let you be.
Yeah, fucking, yo, him and Ed went to war, and fucking because Mike said that he was gonna greenlight Ed, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, yeah, listen, man, you know, like it was all types of retarded.
Yeah, I remember all that shit. All I just remember stuff every day. It's like, Ed, or somebody else, and I was like, all right, have fun.
Did you know NASA has their own federal credit union?
Yeah. They also
I
have a
did not
space.
know that.
It's in Space Force, the Space Force area. It's it's like
It has its federal credit union.
yeah, it's in the Space Force area.
Now it's down here, and like I'm in Maryland at the moment, but like it's been here for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen it a bunch of times. I'm just, you know, now kind of like going, oh, look at that.
They also have one near the Space Force camp and also in Maryland.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm buying one down in Maryland, down off of 3 and 32.
Yeah, they the reason how that got started because I forget who put it in as for their credit union, but they make tons of money off that shit.
Yeah, I don't even know how fucking credit unions really work. To be honest with you, but not really that important.
Yeah, NASA,
Um,
NASA, the whole NASA in a whole is fucking rich as hell.
yeah, like we had a whole bunch of plans of like stuff we were gonna do, right?
Yeah,
Like in the town itself, because like I haven't even like really like done a lot with the town, right? You know
yeah,
what I mean? And like the town's something that we really wanted to incorporate. You know, like fucking have like like the town, and then like you walk in and like the fucking like the zombies are like coming in, just fucking wrecking into buildings and like fucking shooting people and running their fucking pockets with Sudafed and leaving.
yeah.
Right? Like that's all stuff that I wanted to like put into the fucking series, but like I just haven't had a fucking opportunity yet. Oh, I gotta have an episode about the child support people trying to come after me. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah. You should do that. That's the most funny shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. You know what I mean? Like have a child support dude, right? You know what I mean? Who's like fucking trying to hunt me down or some shit. And he's
Yeah.
like dressed like that guy from fucking Jurassic Park, who's like clever girl, right?
Oh shit.
It's like we can like, and that's the cool thing about this show is we can film it from a whole bunch of different angles because we already started that in the first episode.
Yeah.
Because like me and Mike weren't like, so Floyd was, right?
Yeah.
Like Floyd was the beginning and like fucking like main part of this episode how you were seeing shit go through.
He always said the fucking weird ass shit every time we used to talk to him. So he fits in that category.
What?
I said all the shit they used to say on Todd Griffin's channel. He fits that freaking whole shit for that show. Anyways.
Put that whole shit to the assumption. I don't know.
Yeah, it was some stupid shit that he said on Doc Griffin's channel. I said, yeah, he's fit for that show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
I feel bad for picking him, but in another way I don't.
Yeah, like I wanted to get like the whole community involved in this shit. You know what I mean?
I don't mind joining it. I don't mind doing a funny bit and shit because I said I don't mind helping at all being
Yeah,
involved in that show.
right. I mean, like, yo, we got to get you like a character. You know what I mean?
Let's see here. Let's a pimp
Maybe,
bear.
maybe like I was thinking like maybe like a fat dude in a wheelchair or some shit, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Or like you like pop through on like a fucking like one of them like roto scooters and shit or something.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
A bear with the roto scooter.
Yeah, right.
I'm Mac Daddy, bitch. Have like gold tires on it and shit, gold rims and shit.
Oh, we got to fight the boomers too. That has to happen as well. Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna have a massive problem with the goddamn boomers. Right.
There's
Right.
so many ideas for that show. It will work great for your
Oh
show.
yeah, because like you can do social commentary, and on top of that, like you know, what I mean, like have like you can turn it into like full fledged like just little missions and shit, or
Yeah.
like it's real South Parky in like the way it's working out. But like it's South Park, but edgy,
Yeah.
right? Like everybody thought South Park was edgy back in the day. This shit's a whole different fucking
Dude,
level of
yeah.
edgy.
Being in the bear on a scooter, calling Floyd a fag, that'd be pretty funny as shit. What do you want, fag?
Right? I mean, like you got to have like that, and that's the thing about like being a character on the show. You got to have like something, you know, what I mean, like going on,
Yeah.
right? Where like either like you're useful or like you have a problem, right? These type of things,
Yeah.
right? You know,
We just gotta figure out how to do it, though. That's the funny
I
part.
mean, yeah, and the thing again,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? All right, hang on 1 minute, my brother.
Yep.
Yo, man, I need an empty hub box. I got some numbers.
So yeah. Anyways, people, don't be like the idiots in Hollywood. Don't buy shit games. And let's see here. Another thing I should do is say is don't watch shit shows. You're gonna watch shit shows. You're gonna have retarded thoughts. Oh shit! It is 2 hours since I've been doing a live stream. Holy shit! I've been joining this live stream the whole time. It's 10:21, and AP should be on pretty soon in another 2 hours. Can't wait for that. Thanking everybody that joined today. It's really nice seeing everybody join in.
All right,
And we're all set. We're almost
here we
done.
go.
You want to say
Shit.
anything? You want to say anything before we
Yo,
go?
big old titties.
No, talk about your show. Anything?
Yeah, big old titties, huh? Like legit. Like fucking hell yeah, man. Listen, that's a great fucking way to say things.
Well, anyways, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for joining.
Yeah,
I
you
was
know they do.
happy. I was glad that you joined because I was trying to figure out a way who to talk to for this one, and I figured you
Mm.
would.
Man, listen, I'm always down. You know the deal, man. I'm always here to help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fucking, yo, man, listen, I'm gonna go be on Discord if you want to come holler at me. All right?
yeah. Later,
All right. Peace.
later, everybody. Enjoy yourselves.